It's been 6 months since I bought the Google Pixel 7a, and while my initial impression of this phone was great, that slightly changed in October 2023 once I got my hands on the Pixel 8. It makes recommending the 7a somewhat more difficult, so let's go through best things about this phone, the downsides, and then my ultimate recommendation if you should get the 7a or if you should just get the Pixel 8 at this point. The first thing I like about the 7a is build quality. It feels even more premium compared to the 6a, and feels exactly like a Pixel 7, and looks like one too. And unlike A-series Pixels of the past, this one comes with a 90Hz display option, which you can enable in display settings. It's also the first A-series Pixel to support wireless charging. Finally! There's also a new camera system across the device, 8 gigs of RAM versus 6 in the 6a, and the 7a brings Face Unlock to an A-series Pixel for the first time. The Pixel 7a adds a lot more to the A-series Pixel experience than I was expecting, and they even made noticeable improvements with the camera system this year as well. The Pixel 7a has a 64-megapixel quad PD wide camera compared to the 12-megapixel dual PD wide camera on the 6a, a 13-megapixel ultra-wide compared to the 12-megapixel ultra-wide camera on the 6a, which honestly, I can't really tell a difference between the ultra-wides. And even though the selfie camera did get a bump up from 8 to 13 megapixels, here too, I haven't noticed a huge difference from the 6a. Where I have noticed differences between the 7a's camera system and the 6a is with better HDR processing in certain situations with the sky not blowing out. Coloring in video for the 7a seems to have been improved, which is probably thanks to Tensor G2 found in the 7a, and the 2x zoom on the 7a is also noticeably better, thanks to the higher megapixel count of its larger sensor. Overall performance has been snappy on this phone, and as for battery life, it's been able to last me all day with about moderate use. And it comes with great Pixel-specific features like Pixel Call Assist, a feature suite that includes Call Screen, where the assistant will pick up phone calls for you and screen them, Hold for Me, where the assistant will stay on hold and alert you when someone comes back on the line, or Direct My Call, which shows you a visual menu of options that you can choose when you're on the phone. And then there's Clear Calling, where the phone will remove background noise from your audio and make your voice clear. And overall, it's worked really well in my experience. Also, this is generally how the microphone sounds on the Pixel 7a, just talking into it using the recorder app. But now let's look at clear calling. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play some background noise on the computer. I'll have clear calling turned off first, and then I'll turn it on so you can hear the difference.
So I am outside in a very busy city. There's a lot of traffic noise and people are very angry, and this is what it sounds like with clear calling off. I have no idea if you can hear this. All right, so I am outside right now in New York City. It is very loud. I have clear calling on. This is what it sounds like. Can you hear a difference in clear calling? Let me know down in the comments.
With the phone, you also get other great Pixel features like the fast on-device Google Assistant, Real Tone, VPN by Google One, At a Glance, and more. The Pixel 7a is truly the best A-series phone Google has ever made, and it starts at $499 but now that the Pixel 8 is out, I'm not really sure if this is really as good of a deal as I thought it was going to be. And before I get to what advantages the 8 has over the 7a, no matter which one of these phones you choose, if you want a good case, you're gonna like this video's sponsor. Bellroy. I've been using Bellroy products for years now because of their quality design and materials. Bellroy is a design-obsessed Australian carry brand focused on making products for how we move throughout the world. They solved common problems like fat wallets and flimsy bags, and are constantly pursuing better material practices. For example, their awesome tech kit that I've been using is made out of this great recycled woven fabric, and it can fit all types of tech accessories. The tech kit zips out flat for easy access and has this great magnetic slip pocket, perfect for a power bank. On top of that, you'll find these elastic cable organizers, and I love that its mesh pockets have a bit of stretch to them, perfect for storing different types of accessories. Once you've got all your tech in there, you'll find it zips up smoothly and doesn't take up too much room in my classic backpack, which Bellroy also makes. For limited time, you can get 10% off not only a new tech kit, but any product on Bellroy's site. And any purchase made using our link helps support 6 months later. So what are you waiting for? Get 10% off your order today by using that link in the description below, and thanks to Bellroy for sponsoring today's video. The Pixel 8 starts at $699 $200 more than the 7a, but you'll likely find it on sale for closer to $549, and for that price, you do get some really good upgrades that would tempt me to just recommend the 8 for most people. The biggest upgrade you get with the 8 for me isn't the better camera system or Tensor G3, it's the screen. Google Pixel phones, for as long as I've been covering them, have often had screens that had these color shift and refractions from the non-flex OLED panels that they use. And that tech makes the display just not look great. But this year, Google gave the Pixel 8 a way better screen. It no longer looks like a cheap OLED panel. The weird color refractions are gone, and it has 120 Hz, though it's not an LTPO display. Now, I would pay the price difference between the 7A going to the 8 just for the display quality alone, but if you're not as big of a display quality stickler as I am, there are other reasons to get the 8 besides just its display. Like video quality, so far I found it to be noticeably better with less noise compared to the 7A, and there's no wide-angle video on the 7A, which the 8 does have. For photos though, whether they're captured with the main, wide-angle, or selfie cameras, they're so close in quality it's hard to tell which phone took which photo. There are, however, some new camera features that you'll miss out on by going with the 7A over the 8. Like Best Take, which will let you magically Photoshop in different versions of people's faces from different takes, finally making those pesky family photos where at least one person has their eyes closed a thing of the past. Next is Audio Magic Eraser, which uses machine learning and AI to identify and remove background sounds from a video like wind noise or people talking. The Pixel 8 also gets you macro focus for taking great close-up shots, Magic Editor, which is an evolution of the Magic Eraser, and allows you to select objects in your photos, move and resize them, as well as remove them. And overall, it does a pretty great job. Just look at how well it did removing an object from the table and filling in the checkered pattern of the tablecloth in this photo. You also get Ultra HDR as well as astrophotography, and the Pixel 8 has features like better quality front glass, a slightly higher water resistance rating at IP68 versus the IP67 rating of the 7A. And because the Pixel 8 has Tensor G3, you'll get some features tied to that chip, like having the Google Assistant read aloud web pages, translate them, and you can even switch languages that you're using when conversing with the assistant. Plus, this year, Google announced that the Pixel 8 will get 7 years of Android software version updates versus just the 3 you get with the Pixel 7a. So if you're looking to buy a less expensive smartphone but keep it as long as possible, even though the 7a costs less than the Pixel 8 upfront, the Pixel 8 should last you longer with its more years of software updates. And the last thing I'll mention about the 8 is overall, the build quality is slightly nicer. You get a glass back, though it's not a matte material like the Pro. It feels slightly smaller with its more rounded edges, and overall, I think it's just a nicer phone to hold in your hand. So, given everything you get with the Pixel 8 versus the 7a, this is going to be the rare year where I just don't give a blanket recommendation for the A-series Pixel. I do think it is worth upgrading to the Pixel 8 this year over the 7a in most circumstances. So let me know what you think. Did I get it right? Did I get it wrong? Let me know down in the comments, and I've left purchase links for both of these phones in the description as well. We're expecting some steep discounts on these phones for the holidays, and I'll make sure to post that in our monthly newsletter. Consider giving this video a thumbs up if you liked it, you found it helpful, and subscribe for more. And to see more videos on Google Pixel and Android devices, you can get to those by clicking on the videos above. For 6 months later, I'm Josh Tedder. Thanks for watching.